A brand new WWE Universal Championship has been revealed on SmackDown last night for Roman Reigns after surpassing 1,000 days as Universal Champion. Solo Sikoa betrays his own brother and attacks Jimmy Uso on SmackDown. LA Knight, qualifies for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest is set for the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw on Monday. Zelena Vega qualifies for the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Carlito reportedly is in Orlando, Florida on WWE business. An update on Drew McIntyre amid his current hiatus. Braun Strowman undergoes neck fusion surgery. The WWE live event in India is confirmed for later on this year. Pretty Deadly debuts a new theme on SmackDown. Ronda Rousey reportedly demanded her current title run in WWE, and several Money in the Bank qualifiers have been announced for next week's edition of SmackDown. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. Let's start off talking about the Tribal Chief and the brand new WWE Universal Championship bout that was unveiled on SmackDown last night. The undisputed WWE Universal Championship is finally unified in the form of a singular physical title bout. On the June 2nd episode of SmackDown, Roman Reigns was presented with a new bout by Triple H as part of the festivities to mark him reaching 1,000 days as Universal Champion. Although the new bout doesn't have a radically different design from the two pre-existing bouts, its introduction does appear to mark the retirement of both the WWE Championship bout and the Universal Championship bout. The reveal of a new World Championship bout has previously been reported to be in the plans for Friday's SmackDown. Though the celebrations were held Friday night, Reigns hit his 1,000th day as Universal Champion this past Saturday on May 27th. His run with the bout started in 2020 when he defeated The Fiend Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman in a triple threat match at the Payback Premium Live event. Since then, Reigns has defended against a cavalcade of WWE stars and picked up the WWE Championship to go with the Universal title at WrestleMania 38. Though Reigns' days with the two bouts have apparently come to an end, he came close to holding 4 bouts this past Saturday at the Night of Champions PLE. Reigns and Solo Sikoa challenged Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships, but came up short after Reigns was struck with a super kick from Jimmy Uso. The turn from both Usos was reiterated on Friday's SmackDown when the pair interrupted Reigns' celebrations with his new championship bout only to be betrayed by their brother Solo Sikoa. Speaking of which, as I mentioned, Solo Sikoa has turned on his brothers. We'll get to that in just a second, but what are your thoughts on the new Universal Championship? It looks exactly the same as the WWE Championship and Universal Championship. What are your thoughts on the design? What are your thoughts on the color? Were you expecting more? Were you expecting less? Is this what you expected? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. Now, as I mentioned, betrayal runs afoot in the bloodline. Solo Sikoa made his allegiance to the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns loud and clear on this week's SmackDown. During the closing moment of the show, Sikoa attacked his own brother Jimmy Uso shortly after catching Reigns by surprise with his words. After Jimmy explained why he turned on Reigns at Night of Champions, the leader of the bloodline essentially asked Sikoa to pick a side between the Usos and himself. "I acknowledge you, my Tribal Chief, but these two right here are my brothers," Sikoa said, as he stood beside the Usos in a show of solidarity. Thereafter, Jimmy convinced Reigns that they could put aside their differences and run this place again as they did for the previous 3 years, following which Reigns and Jimmy hugged it out. At this point, it appeared that all was well within the bloodline, but just then, Solo Sikoa did the unthinkable by blindsiding Jimmy with the Samoan Spike. The show went off the air with Jay tending to his twin while staring down at Sikoa, who exited the ring with Reigns and Paul Heyman. Throughout the segment, Jay tried to play the peacemaker, a drastic shift in his demeanor from the last time the bloodline experienced disarray within its ranks. However, fans on social media believe Jay showed flashes of his hothead persona and could be on the verge of letting out his frustrations on Reigns and Sikoa. With Reigns set to wrestle at WWE's upcoming premium live events, Money in the Bank and SummerSlam, there is a possibility the Tribal Chief wrestles Jimmy in a singles bout at one of these events. Some fans have also suggested the idea of the Usos wrestling Reigns and Sikoa in a tag team bout at either event. So what did you think of the turn? What did you think of Roman Reigns standing tall once again? What are your thoughts on Jey Uso looking conflicted? Where do you think this is leading? What match is going to happen at what premium live event? Let me know your thoughts. LA Knight, is in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. LA Knight will be part of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match in London on the June 2nd episode of SmackDown, Knight defeated Montez Ford of the Street Profits to qualify for the match. Knight joined Shinsuke Nakamura and Ricochet, who both qualified for the match on the May 29 episode of Monday Night Raw. The match itself will take place on July 1st at the Money in the Bank Premium Live event, which will be held in London, England. The Money in the Bank PLE will mark the third straight WWE Premium Live event to be held outside of the mainland United States. The previous two WWE PLEs, Backlash and Night of Champions, were held in Puerto Rico and Saudi Arabia, respectively. After Money in the Bank, WWE will of course be back stateside for SummerSlam in Detroit. Knight has seen success with ladder matches in WWE, with him having previously defeated Cameron Grimes in a ladder match to win the $1 Million Championship at the WWE NXT event In Your House in 2021. With Grimes now part of the main roster as part of SmackDown, it's possible the two men could meet again in a ladder match. On the women's side of things, we'll get to that in just a second, but what do you think with LA Knight? Some had reported previously he was in line to win the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Is that going to happen in London? Let's talk briefly about Monday Night Raw. A big match is set for the Red Brand this week. The Judgment Day will be looking to add more gold to their stable when Damian Priest challenges Seth freaking Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship Monday night on Raw. Friday afternoon, Rollins issued an open challenge for his newly won championship, tweeting, "My man Big E was the last defender of the crown in November 2021. Let's change that." It was then announced later that night on SmackDown that Priest had answered the call. This will be the first title defense for the Visionary after defeating AJ Styles at Night of Champions to win WWE's newest prize. In the lead up to his match with the Phenomenal One, Rollins declared that he will be a fighting champion. It didn't take long for the Judgment Day to attempt to rain on his parade either, as the faction interrupted him and Styles this past Monday night on Raw. Unfortunately for Priest and his stablemate Finn Balor, Rollins and Styles got the last laugh by defeating them in a tag team match to close out the show. While the Judgment Day has been terrorizing Raw for several months, it's been a while since Priest himself has carried championship gold. In fact, his last title reign came in 2021 and 2022 when he held the United States Championship. After defeating Sheamus at SummerSlam in August 2021 to win the gold, Priest managed to hold on to the title until the following February. His run would end, and fate would have it, courtesy of Finn Balor. Come Monday, it's likely Finn, as well as Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio, will firmly be in Priest's corner, so certainly a fun match that I'm looking forward to on Monday night. Go back to SmackDown and the women's side of the Money in the Bank event. Money in the Bank qualifying matches continued Friday night on SmackDown, and Zelena Vega became the first woman to punch her ticket to London, England by defeating Lacey Evans. After coming up short in her bid for the SmackDown Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley at Backlash last month, Vega will be looking to guarantee a future chance at gold, though not necessarily against the Eradicator. Vega is still looking for her first singles championship with WWE since her first main roster appearance back in January 2018, though she is a former WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, having held the gold with Carmella. Vega made history at Crown Jewel 2021 when she won the first ever WWE Queen's Crown tournament, defeating Doudrop in the final. Since last October, she's found her latest calling as part of Legado del Fantasma and by extension, the recently relaunched Latino World Order. This will be Vega's second appearance in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, having been involved in 2021 as well. However, she was unsuccessful that night as Nikki Cross, went on to win instead. Vega will be looking to change those fortunes when WWE arrives at the O2 Arena on July 1st. As of right now, she is the only woman to qualify for the respective match. Now, speaking of Backlash, Carlito made a shocking appearance at the event, and maybe there's more for WWE's former Caribbean Cool star. Following his surprise return at Backlash, many wrestling fans were optimistic that former Carlito Caribbean Cool might be within reach for future appearances. As of now, Carlito has yet to make a follow-up appearance, but a new report indicates that his communication with WWE has continued. According to PW Insider Elite, Carlito was spotted in Orlando, Florida on Thursday. PW Insider Elite were told that Carlito was in town for WWE, but they were unable to confirm the exact nature of his visit. While it remains unknown what specifically Carlito was doing in Florida, it's worth noting that Orlando is the current home of the WWE Performance Center, which typically hosts weekly WWE NXT programming and is used to train the majority of WWE's developmental superstars. Speculation for Carlito's potential WWE comeback deepened when Metro UK posted an interview with the former Intercontinental Champion last month, in which he stated that he was open to returning to the company or any company if a good offer presented itself. I'm open to whatever, any good offer from anywhere, it doesn't matter, Carlito said. Thing is, nobody calls me, so I don't sit by the phone either. If something comes up, great. If not, I keep doing what I'm doing. Since making his run in at Backlash, the 44-year-old has wrestled 2 matches for All-Star Wrestling in British Columbia, Canada. His last in-ring appearance for WWE took place in February 2021 as he and Jeff Hardy defeated Elias and Jackson Riker on Monday Night Raw. 2 days earlier, of course, Carlito was a surprise entrant in the 2021 Men's Royal Rumble match. So could Carlito be on the verge of a full-time WWE comeback? What's the latest with Drew McIntyre and WWE? Well, we've got a bit of an update what the latest is for Drew McIntyre himself, because Drew McIntyre officially became a United States citizen recently, according to a new report from PW Insider. The website reported this week that the former 2-time WWE champion became a naturalized American citizen in recent weeks while he's been off television. There's been a lot going on in McIntyre's life outside of the squared circle, from becoming a US citizen to the tragic passing of his sister-in-law, Ashley, late last month. While those 2 major life events may be related to the 5-time world champion's recent absence from WWE TV, it hasn't stopped speculation online about McIntyre's future with the company and pro wrestling in general. Some fans have speculated he could leave for AEW, which is hosting its biggest live event to date in England later this summer, while others are hopeful he'll come to an agreement with WWE and remain with the company he's long called home for more than a dozen years of his life. According to PW Insider's Mike Johnson, there's still no update on McIntyre's status with WWE, as the Scottish-born wrestler has yet to come to an agreement with WWE on a contract extension. McIntyre's WWE contract reportedly expires in early 2024. The 37-year-old superstar last wrestled for WWE at WrestleMania 39 and a widely praised triple threat contest with Gunther and Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship, a match many called one of the best bouts of the weekend, if not the best one, period. Since then, however, McIntyre has not appeared on WWE TV, though WWE did run a video package highlighting his journey following the conclusion of the most premium live event, Night of Champions. Of course, that's because they filled time because of the Peacock adverts. So, again, as of right now, no real update on McIntyre's future with WWE, but certainly a lot going on outside of the ring for the Scottish Warrior. Now, an update on Braun Strowman as well. We recently reported that Braun Strowman had been suffering with an injury, and we now know more about his absence from the ring. Former WWE Universal Champion and current Raw star Braun Strowman has revealed that he's undergone neck fusion surgery. Strowman's last match came on May 1st, and he's been out of action since then, and that was actually only his second match back after suffering a concussion just over a week earlier. PW Insider reported this week that Strowman, real name Adam Scherr, has been spotted in Birmingham, which is where WWE stars go for surgeries, and now Strowman himself has confirmed that's what happened. On Instagram, he writes, quote, "Road to recovery starts now. 11-1 fusion on my C4, C5 vertebrae was in the great hands of Dr. Cordova at Andrew Sports Medicine. Was a great experience considering. Thank you to WWE for always taking up the most care of us. This was very scary to find out about having to have this done, and they were there every step of the way, reassuring that I was going to have the best care possible. This will take a little bit of time to heal from, but I assure you, in the words of the Terminator, I'll be back. Thank you all in advance for the well wishes. Much love, Adam Scherr." So he's going to be out of action, you would think, for a while, and obviously we wish him the best in his recovery from neck fusion surgery. An update on the WWE Premium Live event, or just live event, we don't really know if it's going to be premium yet, in India. The previously announced WWE event in India will take place on September 9 in the city of Hyderabad, as reported by Sportskeeda. This date and location comes just under a month after WWE CEO Nick Khan initially announced WWE's return to India for a live event. There's still no clarification on whether or not the company is aiming to broadcast the live event, but we don't know as of right now. Again, it's in September. We have seen events outside of the US a lot this year, so certainly it is possible. However, with WWE SmackDown being on September 8, it's safe to say the show will be limited as far as featuring SmackDown stars go, unless, of course, the SmackDown is pre-taped, which could be the case when it comes to... It happened a couple of weeks ago before Night of Champions, of course. WWE is reportedly aiming to do the show, or was reportedly aiming to do the show in early 2023. However, the show ended up being delayed due to a merger involving WWE's television distributor in India. Earlier reporting also indicated that the show would take place in Hyderabad. While WWE is currently in the midst of something of an international push, with 3 premium live events, the stretch of Backlash, Night of Champions, and Money in the Bank, seeing the company go overseas for all 3 events. The events have seen the company go to Puerto Rico and Saudi Arabia, and of course they're going to be coming here to the UK in July for the Money in the Bank PLE as well. The Indian market has long been the subject of WWE WWE's desire with the WWE Championship reign of Jinder Mahal having been an attempt to push a wrestler with India on the mind. The company last visited India in December of 2017, just 1 month after Mahal's reign ended. At the event, Mahal faced off with Triple H in the show's main event. So again, if we get any more updates on the broadcast situation of that, of course, we'll let you know in the future. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Wow, it's quite interesting. We've been speaking a lot about Rousey and Baszler this week. On the May 29 episode of Raw, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler won a fatal four-way match to win the vacant WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Rousey and Baszler have been friends for years after meeting each other in 2013. The duo aligned on screen in 2022, but they became a full-time tag team in early 2023. Speaking with Peter Rosenberg on Cheap Pete, Shayna Baszler discussed her partnership with Ronda Rousey and revealed that the former SmackDown Women's Champion went to the office and demanded their run as a tag team. She said, quote, "Ronda is Ronda, right? She's been main title, she's main evented WrestleMania, she still gets one of the loudest pops when we walk out. This was something she demanded. We'd been asking for it forever, but she finally put her foot down and went to the office and said, listen, we've been asking for this forever. You keep telling us after this and after this. I honestly don't know if she hadn't done that, if they would have ever got to it. I wasn't in a position yet to be elevated to a Ronda level. So the fact that Ronda said, no, stop, I've done this, I want to do this because this is why I started wrestling. So I think that's huge. She could be main eventing SummerSlam. She doesn't have to be where she is, which is elevating these titles." Rosenberg noted that he believes that Rousey working in the tag team division has elevated her character in his eyes. Baszler responded by noting Ronda's ability to draw eyes on the product, saying, quote, "Yeah, it's just a direction that I don't think they would have looked at just because Ronda is who she is. As much lover or hater, she brings eyes, and that's how she's always been. That she was that way in MMA. I at least wanted people to understand this is happening because she demanded it. She demanded to work with me as a friend, so it's cool to have someone who truly isn't out for themselves. In show business, that's so rare, so it's very cool." So apparently Rousey demanded for this to happen, and that's why it's happening. Now, if you watched SmackDown last night, you would have seen a new theme song, another new theme song for Pretty Deadly. After debuting with a remix theme song, now Pretty Deadly has a completely new bop to go with their entrance. With the new theme getting severely a mixed reaction from fans on Twitter at least, we'll have to wait and see if it sticks. Austin Theory hit the ring in advance of the match to taunt the crowd a bit about how long he's going to remain the United States champion, speculating forever, before introducing Pretty Deadly, who entered the new pop music theme song sung by a very female-sounding voice. While the theatrics of the entrance and the stunning attire remained static, it was definitely a brand new song, sure to draw some strong opinions online. The three went on to have a trios match against the Brawling Brutes, during which Wade Barrett on commentary continued to introduce Pretty Deadly to the audience. In the end, the three-pack of Pretty Deadly and Austin Theory picked up the big victory over the Brawling Brute. So my question to you is, what did you think of this new theme song? Again, it's getting mixed reviews online. What were your thoughts on it? Finally, several Money in the Bank qualifying matches have been announced for next week's edition of SmackDown. WWE has announced 4 Money in the Bank qualifying matches for next week's SmackDown. On the men's side, 2 more entrants in the ladder match will be determined as the Brawling Brutes Butch wrestles Baron Corbin and the LWO Santos Escobar squares off against Mustafa Ali. The winners of those 2 matches will be joining Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura and LA Knight, the 3 men who have already clinched their berths in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. As for the 6th and final entrance, Matt Riddle is expected to receive a qualifying match on next week's edition of Raw against an unnamed opponent. That match was teased on last week's show following a backstage confrontation between Riddle and the Intercontinental Champion Gunther, which ended with Gunther urging the original Bro to win the briefcase and attempt to cash in against his title. WWE is yet to confirm the qualifying match for Riddle though. Meanwhile, on the women's side of things, 2 members of Damage Control will be seen in action on next week's Blue Brand show, while Io Sky will wrestle Shotzi in the first of the qualifying bouts. Bayley will face Mia Michin Yim in the other match. Thus far, only Zelena Vega has clinched her spot in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, what she did with a victory over Lacey Evans on Friday. Others will join the field on next week's edition of Raw, where 2 more qualifying matches will take place, Becky Lynch versus Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark versus Natalya. As such, the entire field for the women's ladder match is expected to be finalized by next weekend. Of course, the annual men and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches will take place at the O2 Arena in London on July 1st. No other matches have been confirmed for the upcoming premium live event as of right now. But there you go, guys. It's the latest WWE news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. Let me know your thoughts as always in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.